From meadows and marshes to sand dunes and river views, Deas Island Regional Park in Delta offers visitors a wide variety of enjoyable scenery. Good evening and welcome to Red's Classic Theater. Deas Island also has walking trails, picnic areas, and some fascinating heritage buildings, which we'll show you a little later on. Our movie this week is the 1955 musical Oklahoma, starring Shirley Jones and Gordon MacRae. The picture achieved several firsts, not the least of which was the film debut of lead actress Shirley Jones. Oklahoma was the first musical to open with a song instead of dialogue to set the scene. And it was the first musical comedy in which a character dies. Also, the first to use ballet in dance sequences instead of a chorus line. But enough about first. Let's have the first act of Oklahoma, starring Shirley Jones and Gordon MacRae. We're visiting Deas Island Regional Park in Delta this week on Red's Classic Theater. The island's history dates back to 1873, when a settler named John Sullivan Deas claimed the island and started a cannery here. From then until the end of World War I, it was among the most productive canneries on the Fraser River. The cannery is long gone, but some other interesting heritage buildings from that era remain. The one-room Inverholm Schoolhouse dates from about 1909 and served the seat of education for many Ladner area children until the late 1920s. It was moved to the island and restored in 1982. Another heritage structure here is Burr Villa, a turn-of-the-century Queen Anne-style home that once belonged to the Burr family of Delta. Part of this quaint country house has been tastefully furnished with antiques and serves as a gift house from May through September. And we'll be back with more from Deas Island after these words. The Greater Vancouver Regional District, which administers the Deas Island Regional Park, has a special event planned for December. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, from December 1st through 10th, come and enjoy Island Nights and Festive Lights. Bring your family to take part in the music, entertainment, dance, and refreshments leading up to the Christmas season. For information, call the Greater Vancouver Regional District Office at 432-6350. And now back to Oklahoma, featuring Rod Steiger and Gloria Graham. Hope you're enjoying MGM's 1955 musical Oklahoma on Red's Classic Theater. We're on location at Deas Island Regional Park in Delta. Tonight's film was not shot in the state of Oklahoma. It was felt in 1955 that the state was too developed to represent the early 1900s. Instead, the film was shot in the state of Arizona. But shooting there presented its own problems. Finding a way to grow corn to the height of an elephant's eye out of season was a real challenge. But the University of Arizona's Agricultural Department came to the rescue and found a way to get the 10-foot-high stalks that were needed. And the studio had some interesting ideas for the cast of Oklahoma. Would you believe that Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward were considered? But that didn't work out. And would you believe that James Dean, the rebel, tried out for the role of Curly? Then an unknown, Dean tested for the part, but his singing voice left a lot to be desired. As for the female lead, Shirley Jones was discovered in the chorus of one of the stage productions of the musical, playing around the country. Now let's return to Oklahoma. And from this little bridge here at the Deas Island Regional Park, in this beautiful setting, time to look at our mailbag and recent requests. Mrs. Reardon from Sequim, Washington, is a Wallace Beery fan, and two of his best are Tugboat Annie with Marie Dressler and Treasure Island with a young Jackie Cooper. M. Comerford from Richmond requested The Heroes of Telemark, starring Kirk Douglas and Richard Harris. And Weston Macklin from Campbell River on Vancouver Island requested Emperor of the North, starring his favorite actor, Lee Marvin. And don't forget, if you have a favorite actor or a movie that you'd like to see, or the suggestion of a location, please drop a note to yours truly, Red Robinson, Television 12 in Vancouver. Red Robinson, Television 12 in Vancouver. And now back to the music of Rodgers and Hammerstein in Oklahoma on Red's Classic Theater. Hope you're enjoying the great music and dance of Oklahoma this week on Red's Classic Theater. Tonight's movie was directed by Fred Zinnemann, who critics characterized as technically superior but emotionally distant and dry in his movies. But in reviewing his works over the decades, it reveals a different story. Starting with his first motion picture, The Seventh Cross, starring Spencer Tracy, Zinnemann showed great talent for extracting superb performances from his stars. He strengthened that reputation with The Men, a sensitive film about paraplegics that introduced Marlon Brando to the big screen. Zinnemann reached the peak of success in the early 50s with two pictures, High Noon and From Here to Eternity, which won him an Academy Award. Among his other compelling films, The Nun's Story, A Man for All Seasons, The Day of the Jackal, and Julia. Over the decades, Zinnemann has tested himself in virtually every genre and assured his reputation as one of America's most accomplished directors. And now back to the Fred Zinnemann film, Oklahoma. From the Deas Island Regional Park, time for our weekly movie trivia quiz. After appearing in Oklahoma, Shirley Jones was typecast as a sweet, innocent young lady. However, in 1960, she broke that mold by appearing in a motion picture that won her an Oscar as Best Supporting Actress. Our question, can you give us the type of role and the movie in which she appeared? We'll be back with the answer in just a moment. Here's the answer to our movie trivia quiz. In 1960, actress Shirley Jones broke the mold and appeared as a prostitute in the motion picture Elmer Gantry opposite Burt Lancaster. And now let's return to Shirley Jones in Oklahoma. From the Deas Island Regional Park, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Red's Classic Theater. I hope you enjoyed Oklahoma, starring Gordon McCrae and Shirley Jones. In the meantime, if you have a suggestion of a movie or a location, write to Red Robinson in care of Television 12 in Vancouver. We'd like to thank the GVRD for their cooperation on location here this week for Red's Classic Theater, and Ramona Rose of the Delta Museum and Archives for the historic photos. This is my first visit here to the Deas Island Regional Park. Why don't you bring your family? We've really enjoyed it. And don't forget the special event, December 1st to 10th. Until next week, thank you for being with us, and good night, everybody.